Okay, hello everybody. Um, welcome to today's stream. It's been a couple of weeks now since my last stream, so I did go on holiday, had some nice time away, at which point Bitcoin did absolutely nothing. And then I come back home and Bitcoin just completely shits itself and dies. So, um, yeah, interesting times. So I think today let's try and catch the low, shall we? Let's see if we can get the low. What we've had so far, I mean, we're either going to capitulate just to depths of ridiculousness at this stage, or we're reaching that point in which the selling is kind of getting to that phase of exhaustion now. And yeah, I want to just go over a couple of little things, what we've had so far, and I just want to do go like these three little spikes down into the lows. Very, very typical of what you would often find on something that may just do this, and then we can start to think about a reversal. This would be very, very kind of similar to what we had back down at 29k. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not convinced at all by this. I really do not think it looks very strong at the moment. But then 29k looked like shit until they pumped it, and then we never looked back. So we're going into a weekend. Stock market's going to close. We don't have to worry about the correlation between that anymore. It just seems very similar in a way to what we had seen on previous kind of times when the market was finding a low. But it doesn't look good so far. So let's see if we can catch it. If not, we're going to capitulate lower and we'll see where it ends up going. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome Adam, Liquid, Matt, Plutonium. Yeah, I had to add the blood screen because I mean it's kind of needed in times like this. Casper Crew are here. Thank you very much for joining. This is probably the first stream you've seen me do since I joined Jay's stream. I'm not sure I did one afterwards because I did go on holiday like immediately after I did a stream with him. So I have to do another one soon. But yeah, probably the worst day that I've seen across global markets, at least since COVID crash. Maybe even worse than COVID crash, because I mean, at least COVID crash, it was so quick that you just didn't have a chance to like even try and get into a trade on that. It was just one of those occasions. This feels much more bearish, so it's interesting. I'm going to show you this. Okay, this is Bitfinex. So Bitfinex are incredibly interested in price right here, and I have been monitoring this for the last kind of 15-20 minutes. You have a huge amount of size on Bitfinex, which are like significant market movers, more so than market makers. A significant amount of size coming in here, and they have been just forcing this down. So as we had that little bounce, they were forcing it down. We start to get this, and it's playing a spread at the moment, but there is definitely pressure building. Whether this is just going to absolutely collapse, in which case there's no support lower from them on here, or if we get a move up and there's no resistance if we do get a move up. So it will be very interesting to see what they do. And also, yeah, I did see someone that mentioned the FTX bids. I mean, at this stage, there's not really a lot left in terms of kind of macro limit, like blocks of orders. There's not really anything down here. This is very much all of the buying was going on kind of the previous like 41 to 40k region, which again I'll go over this. So yeah, most of the buying at limit and most of the open interest increase was going on around that 41 to 40k region. We have had a big sweep down below there. At this stage, there's not really much going on at limit. You're seeing a big drop off in open interest. If you go onto your like exo charts or anything and you just go zoom out onto the time frames, we are getting open interest starting to decrease quite significantly. And that to me would show that we're approaching the end of a move. Now it could roll over and go lower, but this is a third push down into an area. And after a third push down into an area, you would expect a bit of a fight back. So maybe we've just caught the low as we start the stream, and maybe price is going to go up. But hey, we'll watch this and we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm not feeling convinced. So yeah, let me have a look at the chat and we'll see what's going on. So yeah, Shaman8. Hey Luke, did FTX remove all of their limit bids? So yeah, like I say, it's kind of, there's not really much going on down here anyway. From FTX, Binance, Bitfinex are involved, but other than that, very much just kind of waiting to see. And we're kind of seeing what's going to happen at market at this stage, because we keep getting these pathetic little bounces and no one actually chases the price up. No one's really stepping in at market to buy this. So we'll be monitoring that. Good to have AgriTrade or something open as well, so we can see if some big kind of orders start flowing in here. What else do we have on? What are other people talking about? Looking for yearly value area low to be reclaimed, or I'm still bearish. Thoughts? Yeah. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a moment. And then thanks for the emergency stream in advance. I mean, this is a scheduled stream, so I always do stream on a Friday night for a little bit of time, but I guess we're in an emergency now, so it makes sense for me to do this as more of a price action one. But everything is so red. So bad. Okay, let's go to, so that's the Bitcoin volatility index. I'll come to that in a moment. Let's zoom out, right? Where are we? RSI divergence is forming. 30-minute RSI divergences are very interesting here, and this is, again, we may be absorbing this slightly now. We may be reaching the limits of that exhaustion of the selling, but it could change very quickly. The next support down here is kind of, you got 34,300, you've got 31,700, and then you're looking down towards 27 to 24k. Now, obviously, we're not going to go down to 27 to 24k, but in time, this is a macro change of market structure. Maybe it could happen. So let's yeah, in terms of overall support, I'm in a wait and see what happens and just watching the lower time frames, because what I'm much better at doing in these really impulsive scenarios, what I much prefer to do is just watch the low time frames. I'm generally fairly okay at being able to find when the kind of behavior in the market is changing, and we're starting to see that. We're starting to see that change in behavior here. So I'd rather look and watch for that change of behavior and get something that's like, okay, go into a long position, than try and guess at levels, because so far we've hit so many levels on the way down. We've hit naked at points of control. We've hit a really nice daily level that we were waiting for. We've hit all these other things, and they've just got no reaction. So when you're in a massively impulsive move, I'd rather just watch for a change of behavior rather than trying to kind of catch knives at certain levels. Now we've got to that stage where I'm like, okay, sit back for a moment and yeah, wait and see. So yeah, macro stuff, I mean, I'm not going to talk about it. I think it's been done to death. We know what's below us, we know what's above us. Yeah. So what I quite like here, and again, someone did say the 30-minute RSI divergences. So if I do bring this on, this is a volatility thing. I'll hide that for now. But we have quite significant divergences building, and this is on the RSI, it's on the MACD, it's on the CVD. We do have these quite significant divergences starting to build down towards these lows. And if we do go back to, so if I can do 30-minute time frame, just put this in your mind, okay? This is I'll remove that VWAP. Put this kind of structure in your mind of you have a big move down, you push into it once, twice, and then a third time, okay? Each time lower highs, lower lows. So you kind of have a sharp move down, and then you create this kind of flag afterwards. put that little structure into your mind and just remember that. And we're going to try and zoom back out. And I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it just does remind me of here. Okay, so what we're getting right now, and this looked like absolute garbage when it was happening. 29K looked so shit. Everyone was convinced we were going to go to 27K. So I'm just saying be aware. And this is what you do get from bottoms. Not every bottom has to be a V-shaped recovery, and not every top has to be a blow off top. We've seen that plenty of times with the highs that have been put in. You've just seen holding up at the highs, no, can't get any higher, collapse. And you may be able to see those at the lows as well. So it's just another way of being able to catch those lows. And this is something that I do personally like to trade. So what happened at 29K? Okay, all the accumulation was going on within this region. Okay, so this 31, 32, 30K area. We know there was accumulation going on over there, the same way as we know that there was accumulation at 40K. There was a big spike in open interest. We know that big wallets were buying up in that region, but it's been flushed lower. Now, what happened after that flush lower? And if you've got a lot of money and you're just at spot, you're not going to mind price going down. You have big move down, 1 push, 2 push, forming a range, 3 spikes down into that support before kind of creating a range out of that, stabilizing for a moment, starting to hold a base where it originally was, and then finally you get that move out of it. And yeah, this is just, so Get Records has just said this is just basic Wyckoff stuff. Okay, so you can look at this as a selling climax. Okay, you have your initial rally, you have your spring, you then kind of do the whole jump the creek thing, and off you go. And we're looking at something similar to that. Now I'm trying to explain it in the most simple terms of just push down, push down, push down, and have a range. But it's Wyckoff potential, Wyckoff schematic that is in play here. So it's similar, right? It is quite similar. So what we need to see at this stage, for me, is price to come up here, take out these highs, and then start to hold within this region. If price can do that, if price can push up, like properly push up, it's having a good go now. It's having a good go. If we can properly push up, then yeah, I mean, there's no reason why it can't hold and at least get a relief rally. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not jumping into anything yet, and I'm not getting overexcited yet. But this is good. Okay, this is quite good what we're seeing now. Shorts starting to get actually stopped out. If we do go onto here, I'm sure we're seeing some shorts liquidated. So we are seeing shorts start to get liquidated. This is the first time that we've really seen that. And we scroll down here, we've got some big buys coming in. So we shall see. It would be amazing timing if this is it. Or let's just, we'll see. Okay, Liquid says, yo, look, the only problem here is that at 29K, the global markets weren't crashing. Correct, yes. But the other thing with the global markets is, I mean, this is probably the worst day I can remember for global markets again, like 2 years. Yeah, it's been the worst day easily for 2 years with stocks. Like, there's nothing this bad apart from COVID crash, white swan event, black white swan, black swan event, and now we are entering this region here, and we're in an area that you would expect to see as support. What I would think SPX has done is just filled that final gap. Not quite. Okay, so this is the last little point that I would be interested to see S&P come down to if we were to get if this was to get some more continuation. So we came down and we filled these gaps here. That's kind of normal. We were expecting price to pull back, and actually through most of it, Bitcoin was doing okay. Like S&P 500s had almost a 10% move down, which is very, very rare. It would be very unusual for it not to get a bounce at any stage. I thought it had a good chance of bouncing here. We'll see how the day closes. We'll see how the next week opens. But there there is technical support within this region. And of course, if we are going to go down onto, has this got volume? Yeah, it has. So if we were to say like just pull a fixed range of what we've got here, we're kind of entering back into this region. You do have that point of control, and you've got support within this region. You've got significant volume coming in here. Okay, high volume node, we've just hit it. Just a little bit below, you've got a POC just below with that gap just below. And then what we're seeing again here is this. I've seen a lot of people kind of drawing this as a bit of a wedge. So if you do have this, I don't see it as a wedge at all. I mean, it's more of a channel that's broken down, but I have seen people that draw it as a wedge, in which case you're just kind of searching down for these lows. And once those lows are taken, you would expect again just to kind of take those out and then kind of continue to put in a larger range on this. So this could go over into next week. I think markets closing tonight is going to help Bitcoin. If anything, it may be like a slow bleed. So maybe Bitcoin gets a bounce and then SPX comes down and really takes out those lows next week, and we can start to think about potentially again divergences forming, or maybe a higher low or something like that. But yeah, overall, I just want to come in here and just I always feel my duty as when I'm broadcasting and talking to people, I know there's a lot of fear and I know there's a lot of panic. And it's the same as you'll find, like, when things are really, really bullish, like massively bullish, I don't tend to go, okay, everything's going to go to the moon. Like, I'm like, you've got to be careful here. You've got to be careful. Like, things are getting a bit crazy. We're coming into resistance. I'm always saying that. So when things are moving up, I'm generally quite bearish, and when things are moving down, I'm kind of bullish. So I always take like that opposite side, just because I want to stay focused and just be able to like take the sensible trades, I guess. Like, we've had some really nice trades out of this move down. So this is SPX still, but yeah, I'm aware that I'm being bullish when there's nothing bullish to be seen yet. Or that I'm not being bullish. I'm just saying there's a chance. There's a chance here. Certainly not bullish. So what do we have locally? Okay, VWAP. Can't get above it. Just cannot do it. So session VWAP is completely fucked it. We had a really nice long, actually, like on the daily open. We traded this, the daily open yesterday, after like having this initial just collapse. And this actually, cover the short. This was a really nice short. I know Luxury caught this one perfectly. I didn't get it quite so well. But you take liquidity at the highs and you just fall all the way down. You have an SR flip. You try and hold the weekly. You lose that. You fall back down. Session VWAP doesn't hold as support. And eventually it's just blah, 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 death. But yeah, we got a couple of nice trades on the daily open. So what we did have on the daily open, and this is just a very, very simple one. We did have this initial push down into support or stop run, reclaim the daily open, come into VWAP, and you get a move up into your daily level, taking out liquidity at these highs. So we got that nice trade. That was like just a against the trend, trade it on its own merit, and kind of go along with that. Then we came down, hit the MPOC, got a nice reaction, but VWAP stopped it. Okay, VWAP being that like moving point of control, where all the algorithms, anything that's kind of running on stuff, is they're going to be big limit orders waiting on VWAPs all the time. So you come into that NPOC, you have a decent bounce, 3%, hit VWAP, great opportunity to take a short or at least take profit on the long there. You come back down again, you have another bounce here. What happens? You try and get back up into VWAP. Oh, around here, actually, that's awful. You just come back up into your wicks, really, like pathetic little bounce here. Take another low, back up into your VWAP, another low there, and now maybe should we wait and see? So yeah, so that's the kind of thing I'm looking at. And again, like I just explained, like levels so much don't care about anymore. Uh, the ones that I liked, the levels that I liked, have kind of been traded through at this stage. So I'm waiting for just some kind of confirmation and something from the market to give me a bit of confidence, and then I can start to look at where we're at and redo things. I'm also coming into this with like having not looked at the charts for um yeah, the best part of like, well, almost 2 weeks. So being away and it being Christmas and New Year's and all of that. So Vasil Miron, so easy to analyze price after you see the moves. Yes, but what you forget, I traded these moves in a trading room yesterday night, live. So, so I'm analyzing them because I traded them with the community. So it's all good. Can you look at the longs and shorts on this third push down? Not many shorts, it seems, at the lows. Yeah. And this is, I think, is going to be. I mean, you got a few. Yeah. You got pretty. You've definitely got more selling there at the lows. Like it's not the worst in the world, but check out your bid ask. You've definitely got more selling going down there on those lows. But again, I don't know um if that's what we're really supposed to be looking at here. I don't really believe trap shorts is what we want to be seeing now. Like when you've gone down for such a long period of time, I'd rather see just a lack of interest down here. So if shorts are opening at the lows, I don't know how much really dumb money is left in the market right now. I would expect a lot of it has been liquidated. So you've kind of got to think of this as being a lot of what's going on is probably market maker games, and they're just going to be selling into their bids. They're going to be buying into their asks, and they're just going to be repeating that. So you're going to get a lot of selling at the lows. You're going to get a bit of buying at the highs because that's just, we got whale games going on down here. And I think we just have to be aware of that and just be aware that the market right now is very, very, very irrational. So, and very impulsive. I'm going to go on to, because again, we're not really seeing interest, like, not seeing a big increase in open interest. What we've seen each time there has been a rise is as longs have started to get a bit cocky on the way down, you've taken the lows and then stopped them out. And this has happened just here, okay? So it was happening earlier. So we did have this move, and then longs were starting to get a little bit eager as the price came up. You come down, you take the lows, and the majority of them just give up and go away. So yeah. So I'd rather see. I think the point in which this does find a bottom, maybe more so than it being a V shape, is going to be where the bulls finally give up the fight, and then you're going to start seeing some market buying coming in. Just looking at the chat again. Um, never estimate dumb money. There's plenty still in. I'm dumb and my money is still in crypto. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of money still in it, but I think, yeah, probably a lot of people are in pretty bad losses and maybe not able to trade this anymore. Maybe accounts are gone. People are too scared. People are too fearful. It's certainly the most fearful I can remember seeing it. So, I mean, surely it can't keep going on for that much longer. Even if we just crash down to like 34K or something, at that stage, maybe you get a V shape recovery. But let's see. Let's see. Bear's been so rewarded. Every silly bear is being right now. Same as bulls when it's up only. Yeah. It applies the same way both sides. We'll have some major squeeze. Like if we check Binance 20% wick back in 26th of July. Yeah. Okay, what else can we look at? Because the order book's not telling us very much. There's some sell walls moving up, being put up rather. Not a lot, but there's some sell walls up here being put up. Bitfinex are chilling out again at last. Bybit still putting up sell walls just above price, but I mean it's holding it here. Look at the CVD. Again, CVD is not telling us too much. You're not getting any divergences here. Let's check out Binance. Potentially bearish divergence, but with how this is holding up here. Yeah, the CVD, like locally, we're looking more bearish. That could be leading. Ray Hurley, Luke, you're awesome. Love the stream. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be streaming again. Also, everyone, of course, as we're just sideways right now, please do check out just at the top there, tauruscrypto.com. So tauruscrypto.com. I can just just load the website here. So you can check us out on tauruscrypto.com. This is a lot more information about our community, educational community. We teach a lot of TA stuff, order flow, all of that kind of thing. We do have our free Discord community, and then we do have the Taurus crew. So if you would like to learn more about the way that we're trading, myself, Luxury, who's been killing it whilst I've been away, caught the short yesterday perfectly, probably trading absolutely on form right now. French Bull, who's been calling this move for a very long time, and yeah, so he's been calling this move down for a long time. It's happened. So French Bull has been awesome. You can look to join the Taurus crew, and then you get regular trading rooms, streams, and stuff with us on pretty much a daily basis. So yeah, if you're not already aware of what we do, then please do check out the website. And if you would like to join and kind of learn more about the trading style that I have, and then also the trading styles of Luxury, of French Bull, and of all the others within the community, then please do check us out. That would be great. Yeah, little mention of everything there. So back onto the chat and have a look. Check some fib extensions and the monthly 21 EMA. I've got a 0.618 and a monthly around 35k. Okay, I'll have a look at that in a sec. S&P barely holding on 4,400. Okay, I'm just going to check out SPX again because it's going to be closing soon. And look, we're coming into the gap, right? We're coming in to fill the gap. So let's see, the gap is here. I was looking at support on this higher up. Okay, everyone knows the support I was looking at was that golden pocket in the order block. We're through that, but yes, we will be at the 786 now. The reason I liked the order block in the 618 golden pocket was what we had previously. Okay, so order block, golden pocket, come down, crash into it, and then bounce. Very similar to what we have here. Have a little order block created, create this little thing before move down, and then you can get a bounce. But we're looking a bit deeper than that, so market's looking pretty bad, but it's okay because that's what happens in the markets, and that's why you trade it both ways and why you can take some short positions. And actually, realistically, when you're looking at this being a point of control, it's probably better. It is probably better for stocks, this being the overall point of control, and then you've got your gap just below. So this is, yeah, actually this is very, very good on the stock market, on the S&P 500, SPX, ES, whatever you want to call it. Interesting. Let's see what it can do. You've had a partial fill. So this is where the gap starts. Okay, so you do have that partial fill of the gap. Now, if you do go onto the daily chart, it's not really showing it as being there, but you can see the actual trading day that it was. If you do go all the way back, okay, we have had that partial fill of the gap, just coming into that space, tapping into it, and then getting a reaction. And with SPX closing soon, then, I mean, actually SPX closing in literally like now, isn't it? We're about to close, are we? Oh no, we've got another, yeah, we've got another half hour. No, we haven't. Another 5 minutes. Is it closed? You're doing 5 minutes more. Closed, is it? I thought it was half past. Hmm. So yeah, let's see what happens with it. But yeah, SPX is going to close. US markets are about to close. And then the minis will take over. The futures will take over. And Bitcoin will have maybe a bit of freedom. So yeah, 10 minutes. SPX closing, BTC scam pumping. That happened. That's happened how many times in the last week? When every time the stock market crashes, it closes, and Bitcoin's like, poof, off I go again. So yeah. Matt, do you have a snippet of an old trading room stream I can watch to see how it works in there? We record them all, so they're all like uploaded. I mean, we did one with the crew yesterday where we did take that long position on the daily open, and maybe I can share a bit of that, or if there's been a bunch of ones recently that maybe I can just upload something like a snippet or something into YouTube. They work kind of the same way as this, but a lot more detail going into it, a lot less chatty, and just kind of looking at what's really going on and kind of focusing in on the market as a whole and just kind of watching what's happening, trying to trade it. 20 million long just opened. Okay. Where are you? Must be a delay. What do you think about Big Cipher Harmonic on the daily? Retracement from all-time high in 41k-ish, wick to 382, and now drop to XA 1.13 extension. Oh, right, okay, so, I mean, we've got the cipher here on the high time frames, which it used to be a bat harmonic, and it has turned into a cipher since taking all-time high, and we do say it's P's drunken bat. It's, yeah, I'd have to have a look at that and see. I mean, there are harmonics here, But for me, the ones that I'm looking at are going to take us down into this region. So there's potential there. You've got EW counts to take you down into that region as well. Now that we've had a macro change of market structure, so yeah, for sure, there is a possibility. Change the sets on aggro to not show 100k trades. I'll do that. I just like to torture myself with all the noises on this. That's why I still have it on. I can be like, oh, my microphone's going to cancel it all out, but you can hear it all in the background. There it is. Oh, it's such lovely noises. No, that's not why I keep it on. It's just because yeah. I like to kind of see the tape coming through, yeah. All right. What do you think of options expiry today? The Bears won that max pain. I closed at 8 a.m. UTC. I can't tell you what time it closed at, but yeah, there were options expiries today, and I know like 37 was, it was either 37 or 46 that were like the two kind of max pain scenarios, and we've come down into that 37k region. So yeah, options have expired. I mean, if you want to put some call some call options on, and I wouldn't, yeah, I mean, that might be a good opportunity, because yeah, definitely the sellers won that. Surely the chances of it closing next month higher than here, even if it's just a dead cat bounce. I'm sure, surely we're not going all the way down here next month. Got to get a bounce at some point. Bitcoin to 100k tumbleweeds. One day it's gonna happen. This is what I keep saying, and this is why I'm always like, I won't even. We're on a big journey. There's so much more, and I always say it. There's so much more of the market, like of this story of this crazy market, still to go before we enter into kind of a big winter. Like, there's so much going on. The thing with like the last big blow off top with crypto is it kind of everything did its thing already, and there wasn't really much going on. They had to go through years of innovation, and now we've just got stuff coming out all the time. You've got NFT marketplaces, you've got all these ETFs, you've got all of this stuff, and it's like, it's a big market now. So I still reckon we're on a big old journey, and we're going to go to 100k at some point, but it's is whether you've got the money left in the game when we get there. It could be a long time, it could be quite a way away yet, but for me, I'm just, yeah, I just love the whole story that this is playing out, and how much like more extreme this market is than I have ever seen it being before. It's really cool. And if we can get this extreme at the lows, and we've had it like being really extreme at the lows twice, and the highs have been kind of meh, just imagine what it can do when it actually decides to go on a bull run. Because so far it just feels like it's like, oh, you have a little run up, get a little bit hype, and then you dump. Surely there's some excitement left in this. The alts have been more exciting this year. Last year. Mark Elliott, also, what do you think of that hash ribbon indicator? Never used it. Yeah, never used a hash ribbon. I've heard of it, I've never used it. It's like moving averages for me, I'm aware of, but I'm also well aware that we've got a big death cross on the moving averages. I'm well aware that we're below the 200 day. I don't need those on my charts to see that. I'm well aware that we came into the 21 day yesterday and rejected. So I think hash ribbons are other like moving average type things, aren't they? Let's bounce into the 200 day around when it crosses over to the yearly level. So if you like to trade moving averages, I think at some point you're probably going to get a move like this, and you'll have your 200-day coming down, and then you'll go poof, and that'll be quite a simple trade when it does happen. But it's just when we get there. Uh, what else we got? Well, last, how can you compare this drop to 2018 bear market? Is it similar? Do you think market is thinking similar? Um, Taproot upgrade, Lightning Network. It's nothing like 2018. Sorry, did I say 2008? It's nothing like 2018. So after 2018, you basically just had like if we had a move like 2018, it would be the world's easiest thing to trade now. You just had bull market, bull market, bull market, blow off top, and then you just consolidate for about a year, and then you go all lose volatility, and then you just go boof, and then you start a new bull market. It was like so simple, so simple. Um, Whereas, yeah, this time it's much more complex what we've got going on. So I can't compare the two anymore. The last time I could really compare what we're getting this cycle to last cycle was back in February, March kind of time. Since then, it's like this. It's completely different. It's a whole new beast. So there's so much more going on. So much more. If you bought spot around 40 to 41k, would you consider letting it go at this point due to the weekly bearish market structure break? Considering selling off on a relief bounce, to be honest. I bought spot at 40 to 41k. I'm not selling it. Um, but then I'm not overexposed. So this is spot that I kind of had sold up at 65. So I mean, if we go down to 27k, it would suck, and maybe I'd have to reevaluate that. Um, on a relief rally, okay, if you come into 46 and we get a tap of the yearly, that's probably when I'd consider like reducing exposure again, because I have added around this area the same way as I'd added down in this, and then we come into like the weekly level, and we knew that 52k was going to be a big short, so you can reaccumulate, you get that move up, and you quickly just like, okay, just lose that exposure, take the short position, and that kind of pays for you to take some more trades afterwards. But yeah, I mean, there never ever any financial advice on here. Never, no financial advice. Um, However, if we are going to get a relief rally into 46k, I mean that's going to be a massive level of resistance coming up. Um, so we'll have to, yeah, you got to be aware of that. It's going to be very hard to get through there. Mark Elliott, what's it saying? I think it's 17 for 18. Crown talks about. Basically, he was saying that we could get a wick down to 35 or so, but we shouldn't have a daily close lower than 37.5. Um, yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean that just means, yeah, you're just going to get a flush down and a V-shaped recovery, which would kind of make sense. I mean, there's still plenty of time to get that today. If this does move down, like if you were in a long position, that's a good opportunity to take profit, because you've certainly got buying at those highs there. Yeah, there may still be a flush lower. Did you see Cirrus today? Yeah, I heard that had a big pump. Oh, I saw that had a big pump, yeah. I'll have a look at that in a minute. Volume for this capitulation isn't really big. Do you think it's a local capitulation or the big one from 69k? Yeah, I guess in terms of capitulation, I may be thinking of it more that there was no capitulation down here. Like that happened previously. Like that was the capitulation, and then you just grind and just get everyone else out of the market afterwards. And then in this instance, there's your capitulation, Senti and Luke night out, where the whole market just collapsed, and now you're just grinding and just shaking everyone else out. The same as in the highs, like that was your blow off top in February, and then you just have a distribution afterwards. That was your blow off top in October, and then you distribute afterwards. So you've got your blow off bottom accumulate afterwards. It's hard. I mean, yeah, we could come down here and we could do something like that, but just got to play it level by level. But all I see now is that is so similar to 29k. It's kind of crazy. So similar in structure. Is there a buying tail currently on Bitcoin for today's TPO? Barely. I think it's like 2 or 3 profiles. Yeah, barely. I wouldn't like that because we've had such a volatile day. I'm probably looking at least 100 tick on there to make it look nice. In which case, no. So, eh, but again, there wasn't. I could scroll all the way back down to the 17th of July. If I scrolled all the way back to the 17th of July, it didn't have a. It had a poor low. There was a poor low on the 17th of July, and price went to all-time highs after that. So it's never a sure thing, is it? Right. Cool. How long have I been live for? About 45 minutes. I was planning on doing 45 minutes to an hour today. So, I mean, if anyone's got any more questions, then I'll happily do that. But I'm just going to keep this one fairly short tonight. I may hang out afterwards in the crew chat. But yeah, it's been a pretty intense day, and I'm still like come back from holiday and I have this to deal with. So I haven't even looked at the charts for a week, and then I have this shit to deal with and I have to try and make sense of it all because I've got like 100 people watching, and I'm trying to make sense of it, and I'm just like, man, I've just come back from holiday like a few days ago. I'm still in Mexico time. I'm so bad with jet lag um when I come from the west and fly back east. I get such bad jet lag. I'm fine going out, but when I come back the other way, so if I come back from America and I come back from like Mexico and stuff, it just like, ugh. Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking forward to a bounce because then there's some data to trade and it's fresh in my mind because I've missed a week's worth of action, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at as much because a whole week had passed. I'm like, is that still valid? I don't know. I haven't been looking for a week, so yeah. Next week will be good. Next week will be another one of those 100% win rates. I know it. I'm 100% convinced that we will win every trade next week because that's what we did before I went away. All right, a couple more questions. Well, plus, how was Mexico? It was amazing, and I want to go back there. And England is cold and miserable, and I want to go back and go to a hot country and work there, ship all my trading system over, ship my computers over, and live in Mexico or Brazil or Peru or Colombia or something. South America's awesome. I've never really properly traveled there. Um, what can we expect after you finish your stream? To go lower or higher? I think you can expect after I finish this stream, we will both go lower and higher than when I finish. Both things will happen. So yes, we will go lower and yes, we will go higher as soon as I finish the stream. That would be interesting. XRP to moon, maybe. I don't have XO. Can you tell if there's a lot of liquidity trapped in the 34,750 to 36,400 range? I mean, that's a little bit far back to load. I'd have to go on to quite high time frames. What I can do on XO is just show you on here, because we can load back a bunch of stuff. Okay, so this was a nice level yesterday or overnight, got hit, got a little bounce, fell apart, hasn't been able to get back above price. Next daily MPOCs are down towards like 34,400 in terms of liquidity down there. I mean, you've got no, there's just no volume. There's not really anything of interest here. If I go on to like a delta profile, let's have a look. Nah. Below this level, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of volume there. Not recently, anyway. There was a lot of volume on the move up. So like that 34 to 36k region had a lot of volume on the way up, like early last year. But after that bounce from the 29k lows, it's just nothing. It's just a void. So maybe we come down and fill the void, in which case like 34,400 is what looks good. Then you move on into the weekly and you zoom out, and again you can see here next kind of NPOC coming in down here. Again, we had that one that got hit, got a bit of a reaction, that 32k. So again, you just see no real volume here. So there's nothing of that much interest. And then you can look at your monthly. And again, just a bit of a void. So nothing really here. Lots of volume on the way up earlier on in the year. And you come back down and then you just kind of push through it and don't look back. So yeah. 34,300, or no, 34,400 and 33,400 are both very significant. If we are going to get a big move down, those are the like major next supports lower. Anything in between that is kind of difficult. Last thing I want to do is look at last year. That's not what I wanted to do. That's dot. Let's go on to this chart instead. Look, this is an anchor VWAP from COVID Crash low as well. Look where we are. Just below it. Close enough. Range. Yeah, and then someone was saying about the yearly value area low. To reclaim, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, if you can get back above there, hit the POC, reclaim this daily level in 40k area, then yeah, reasonable. Oh, crypto hustling, go Asia, bro. That's where I'm going. I mean, I've done Asia enough. I just want to do South America. I really like South America. People are just so chilled there. And I want to learn Spanish. South America is where it's at. Like, they're going to be, once they go through their whole like hyperinflation thing, there's new economies building there, and they're going to be pretty big players in the world over the next 20 years or so. Yeah, I want to go South America. I'm showing imbalance in the chart from that 30. Okay, yeah. So we do have that. Yeah, we do have that kind of. There is an imbalance there just because it was a lot of just very fast buying. So it's kind of like big old single prints between 36,400 to 34,400. Yeah, big old gap of nothingness within that area. So similar to how you would expect single prints to react coming into your point of control. So yeah, there it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was when we had the gap up. Like, is there? I think there may be a CME gap there. Where's that? Yeah, the CME gap down there. We have. Yeah, you've got all this going on. You've got this big candle again that just hasn't. You've never come back in to test any of this, so it would make sense still. That's absolutely a possibility to come back in and test that region, and then once you've tested that region, you've got all of this to clean up. You got this to clean up. You got this to clean up. So even if we go down here, there's still a very real possibility it could come all the way back up and form a big old range, because if you can clean up this much of the lows, then surely you can clean up this much of the highs. So go away. There we go. Yeah, Puerto Rico would be cool. Share us before you go. Need to see something green. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna do some analysis on some green charts before I go. This will be the last thing, so I think that's enough from Bitcoin. I've talked about it enough. Um, we'll see where we end up. Okay, that it's doing something constructive here of a potential bouncy time, but not convincing at all. Like even less convincing than 29k. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, Cirrus, here we go. 20% up on the day. You got this big old wedge that, I mean, you probably can say you've broken out of that. So Cirrus is going to go to $2, guys. We're going to get a 10x during the bear market. I mean, that would be the target. If you have a good breakout on good volume from this descending triangle on here. I mean, it's stupid, but hey, maybe that would be the target. What else is green? And that's like serious volume. And look at it, okay? Look at that for accumulation. Brilliant. Like really good accumulation on there. Big volume. Run it kind of down within this wick, kind of test everything, accumulate, and actually, as a chart that could have a decent run after all of this, there's some life in this, certainly. Yeah, certainly. Just a shame I got in a bit early. Uh, anything else that's green? I did want to look like Luna is really helping me. DYDX is looking good. ICP green on the day. Oh man, Luna was looking nice. And now it's wrecked. Oh man, Luna. Luna was looking okay. Yeah, not so much anymore. One, that again. Nope. Spell. Nope. I've really looked at alts, man. There's so much worse than I thought. The thing I really like. All right, let's say we're gonna go because everything else that has already just fallen through, like support. Solana's one of those that's now down at a really interesting level. So I mean, if we're getting towards the end, Solana's reaching a level that we've been interested in. So I have been looking at that, take out these lows for a while and come into this block. So Solana's there, and then there's things like Sushi and Uni and stuff that are looking okay. But man, trade it at your own risk, because yeah, things are not looking too good. Okay, let me go on to here. This is looking constructive. I want to. Are we trapping shorts down here? We are. Okay. This is more like it. Yeah, maybe not. I'm so used to like looking at charts going the other way that when I start to spot potential absorption of selling, it looks odd to me. Like absorption of the buyers is really easy because shorts are just easy here, but I mean, I want to go. I want to chill out. Where would you? Where would you have an invalidation on this? Psychology of trading, man. It's so difficult because you're so used to short positions and longs not working that when you spot a good opportunity that has an that has a chance on a pullback, it becomes really difficult to convince yourself that it's going to work. I'm not sure. Moving up. Ah. Okay, cool. That's going to do it for me. I'm going to go relax. It's the weekend. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Um, what Mark Elliott said, people are going to say, yeah, that's a good comment. People are going to get chopped up this weekend. Be careful, guys. Might be a bad idea. Might not be a bad idea just to sit on the sidelines this weekend. Low liquidity, a one-way trip to Rec City, first class. Yes, I would totally agree. You're going to get some fuckery this weekend. It's probably not going to be very nice. It's not going to be very fun. Unless, of course, you get a really strong reaction before close. And then we can start to think about trading a range over the weekend with some really good alt bounces. But at this stage, like you're 2.5 hours until close, that's going to have to happen really quickly. And it doesn't really look very strong at all. There we go. We're falling apart again. I was trying. It was really trying there. But yeah. There was some absorption going on. But again, this is what keeps happening, okay? You get some buy walls being put up, you start to look like, okay, maybe you're starting to absorb this, and then just you just get a few sell orders that just go through. It's very low volume, and you're just like, nah, cool, we're back down to the lows again, and we're going to probably have another go at these lows. So yeah, be careful this weekend. Trade it with caution. Just make sure you got some powder dry for next week, and it'll be a better week. So I will see everyone then. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah.